Greetings everyone, I am Robert Tiong Madang, currently a pupil in SMK Serian, school code YEB8205. Before starting our book review, I would like to share why I choose this book. Being a librarian myself, I have read numerous books, but none have piqued my interest as much as this particular one that I will talk about today. Today's subject, the eye-catching book that have completely stuck with me, Little Hero by Emily Limley. This is no ordinary book. In fact, it has won the third place for the 2024 Moonbeam Children's Book Award. As it described by the author itself, this is a tale of separation, loss, and growing up in post-war 1940s Singapore. To briefly describe it using my own words, Little Hero is a poignant historical fiction novel taking place in 1945, post-war Singapore. The book captures an important moment in Singapore history that is often overshadowed by the war itself. The rebuilding of the country after years of being under the ruling of Japan. Before starting the review, I think we shall learn a little bit of history first to completely understand it. To be exact, just how bad it was for them. During World War II, Japan took the initiative to rule the Southeast Asia as a power play against the British. However, compared to its neighboring country, Singapore was the worst one. One of the many factors being the military base for British and consisting of majority Chinese people that was unfortunately despised by the Japan. Thus, despite the victory of the war ending and being freed from Japan control, Singapore faced a new problem that is to fix themselves after being left crumbled and helpless by Japan. Now that we have understand the reality of the situation, we can finally jump into the exciting part, my book review. Little Hero centers around the story of a young boy, 7-year-old boy named Ying Xiong, whose name quite literally translates to hero in Mandarin. Reading this book will accompany him on his battle of survival. This book contains three utmost important plots that I would like to discuss. To begin with, the heartbreaking separation. A few chapters in, we are shown upon the hardship Ying Xiong family have to endure. Then, his father decided to return back to China to ease the burden. However, his father decides to only bring Ying Xiong's two eldest brothers with him, completely abandoning Xiong and his mother to stand on their own feet against the extreme poverty. Next is the life in kampung. After the heartbreaking abandonment, the mother and son duo moves to a cramped, unhuman room in Kampung Silat. The environment is harsh and the neighborhood is filled with gangsters and people struggling to live on. Lastly, the quest for identity. The narrative mostly follows Xiong on his life as he tries to understand his name, a hero. Surrounded by gangsters and the burden of lacking a father, he struggles to understand what it actually meant to be Ying Xiong, which is a hero. In conclusion, this book shares about being brave, finding joy in hopeless situation, and in a way teach us to be grateful for what is given. By using stars to rate the level of enjoyment I had with this book, I confidently give it 4 out of 5 stars. Just because it is short. Just 91 pages of book like this. Well, look at the time. I'm nearing the time limit. But before ending, I would like to share one crucial factor of my enjoyment that is usually overlooked by other readers. At the last few pages of the book, to be exact, page 90, there is a question statement to help the readers understand the point that is trying to be delivered by Emily Limley. The question involving what is actually meant to be a hero. When the word hero is said, what usually comes to mind is someone powerful, someone who helps others, and someone who fights evil. But after accompanying Xiong on his journey, you can finally understand that sometimes being a hero is just being strong enough to save yourself. That's it from me. I hope my review can persuade you to read this book. Once again, Robert Tiong Madang, SMK Serian, excellent, awesome. Thank you.